Good morning. Now, review time. A couple of products from Unigear. I'll say at the outset, I'm nothing to do with Unigear whatsoever. They contacted me completely out of the blue and asked if I wanted to give my opinion on a couple of products. One being the Campy bed sleeping bag. The other being their sleep pad. Now, I'm not someone who's just going to unpack it indoors, have a look at it and say, wow, it's great. I've been using them properly out here for camps, and good or bad, you can always rely on me to tell you like it is. Now, I'm not going to go through the full list of weights and sizes and all that sort of thing. You can look that up. I will put the links in the description below. What I'm going to tell you is my personal opinion from real world testing. Right, let's start off with the Campy bed, the sleeping bag. They label it 30 Fahrenheit -1 Celsius. The comfort, they're saying 3 degrees plus in Celsius, limit -3. Ian tested, so it's been properly tested. I have no doubts that is about right. So you're looking at three season bag really. It is summer. When I've been using it, it's been warm, so I've had to unzip it on several occasions to let the heat out. I have no reason to doubt these figures. It is warm, it is comfortable. This is the large, and it is huge. In fact, if I can do it right, I'll stick a clip up here where I'm demonstrating the size of it. I'm not going to drag it out of the bag today. Envelope shape, plenty of room, lots of leg room. Zip that goes right way round, so if it is hot you can open it out and use it as a blanket, one big blanket, if that's more appropriate for the temperature. All in all, as a sleeping bag, I like it. Very, very good. Now, it's not the cheapest of bags. The bag itself, I have no problems, I really like, but it comes in this stuff sack. And I would have liked to have seen a compression sack myself, because it is a big lump, but with a compression sack, you could have probably made it half the size, which would be much more pack friendly. It's not like it's going to cost a lot to add some straps on this bag. So that's my only real negative. I would like to have seen a compression bag. The sleeping bag itself, it's good. I think it's going to be far too much for tonight, but I wanted to do this final test with it because I have been testing it for a little while now. It's jungle bag weather really, but rather than stuff it in there, I thought I'd get it out here so you get the idea of the size of it. It is a large, to be fair. They do a regular. I think I would have been alright with the regular. When you see the size of the large, I'll have to step back from the camera and unroll it. I don't know how much of that was in shot, but it's about 7.5, 8 foot long. It's absolutely massive. I'm quite looking forward to using it in the colder weather, but I say I wanted to bring it out and give it another test today, so cram this in the bug net. Now, the other thing that they sent me, the Campy P3 air sleeping pad. Again, they sent me the large. I've seen lots of people review these, and overwhelmingly they've all said they're great. I thought, okay, let's give it a go. Let's see what it's actually all about. The first thing I will say, the stuff sack, as I'm sure you're probably aware if you've seen other videos on it. You've got this nozzle here. The stuff sack is like sort of like double lined, which you fold the inner out to make it twice as big and it becomes a bag, so bellows style. You can pump the mat up. It does work. It does work. Ideally for that sort of use, you need a bigger bag. It takes a lot of effort. I've got one of them little electric pumps. I just use that. But the stuff sack, come blowing up sack, does work. I was sort of dubious when I saw a lot of the videos, because you know, a lot of people were making it out that it was the best sleep pad in the world. Well, I've been camping a long time, and I've had a lot of sleep pads of different designs, different sizes, different shapes, etc. Is this the best one in the world? I don't know, but it is the best one I've ever used. I'm going to get him out the sack, blow him up, and then I just want to talk about some of the features and just things that I've found with my personal testing and use. I won't feel blowing it up because that's boring. I'll be back in a minute. Well, my personal findings. Starting at the top. You've got the larger roll at the top. It's not enough to use as a pillow, unless you're like someone that likes hardly, you know, anything. What I have found that is good for, though, my head is normally about here, and it stops my pillow sliding up. So, is that what it's designed for? I don't know, but that's my findings. Helps keep the pillow in place. The top section, the upper body, very comfortable, whether you're on your back or on your side. It's slightly raised on the edges, helps keep you centralised. So all this works brilliantly. The thing it's become sort of quite famous for is this section is thicker and raised. I don't know quite how well it comes across on video or filming at this angle. And the idea is that it gives you that bit of support here. Now, on your side, whether you are potentially someone who's slightly heavier and need a bit more support, if you actually had your hip on this section, there's no way you're going to touch the floor. Or if you have your hips slightly below it, this rounded section here sort of fills in the gap between your hip and the bottom of your rib cage in here when you're on your side. Very comfortable. What I will say was the first time I used it, I had it pumped up too hard. And on my side, it was fine. But when I turned onto my back, this curve was too much at the base of my spine. But luckily, the valve system is a very simple rubber flap type one, and you can literally just give it a little press, drop some pressure out. As soon as I reduced the pressure slightly, problem gone. It was fine behind my back. And because of the thickness of the mat, there was still no issues with touching the floor or anything, even at the lower pressures. So maybe that's just something to, you know, be aware of. If you buy one, don't pump it up solid. Make sure there's a bit of give in it. The leg section, it has got like channels here. If you're sleeping on your back, your legs seem to sort of drop into this channel. Feels nice, quite comfortable on your legs. If you turned onto your side, as I do most of the time, I am a side sleeper, you don't notice the channels at all. I will say the width of this is good. It's a bit wider than a standard mat. On a standard one, I tend to, if I get my hips in a comfortable position still on the mat, sometimes my knees are just off the edge of it, because I do sort of curl up a little bit, and I've woken up with my knees on sort of the floor, so cold knees. I have no issues on this one. I've always had that issue in the past on standard size mats. This being that little bit wider, my knees stay on as well as my hips. That's a bonus. And although it doesn't really show here, this bottom section where your feet go, it is lower than this. So if you're on your back, your heels sort of drop into a little slight well. That's quite comfortable. That's nice. I like that. And also if you're on your side, sort of like your ankle is in that space, so that is good. Again, there's a little sort of enlarged sort of buffer section at the bottom, and sometimes on some other sleep mats, because I toss and turn quite a bit, I tend to sort of either move up or move down the mat. Having these buffers on either end, I don't seem to move about so much. I don't know whether it's a psychological thing, you feel it and stop. But yeah, I've had a great night on this every time I've used it. So, is it up to the hype? I would say yes. For this price point, I think it would take an awful lot of beating. It really would. I've never slept on one of the really expensive high-end mats, so I can't compare them. But on the sort of like low to mid-range mats that I've tried out, and I've tried out a lot, this is the best one I've had. It's as simple as that. I'm really enjoying it. The R value is rated at 2, so it's not the highest R value. There's no insulation in it. It just gets its R value from its thickness, so you're off the floor. About the same as other mats that I've used, and I've never had a problem even in the winter. If it's been really cold, I've just put a foam roll mat underneath it or something like that for insulation. So I'm looking forward to trying this out in the winter as well. But certainly at the moment, it definitely gets the thumbs up. It's a good product. I like it. Right, so that's my opinion of these two Unigear products. Now, Unigear is not a brand that I was sort of aware of, to be perfectly honest. But if this is an indication of the quality of their stuff for a sensible amount of money, if I'm in the market for some more gear, I'll certainly be checking their website out. Quite impressed. Thanks for watching.